Hi, Vicky. Thanks for joining us again today. Today's topic is going to be voting in person.
Good to see you again, Donna. I'm very happy to be with you to talk about in-person voting because this year, because of COVID-19, we really are expanding some of our in-person and early voting opportunities. So for the primary election, we normally have 8 days of early voting, but we're going to add 2 additional days. So we have 10 days of early voting, and that will be August the 6th through the 15th. Now, the second thing that I'm very excited about is we normally have 6 early voting locations. We are increasing them by 2 locations. So for the primary, we will have 8. And then for the general election, we're going to have 10 early voting locations in St. Johns County. That is my goal, and it's been supported by our Board of County Commissioners. So I'm very excited. We're really going to try to spread people out because we know because of COVID-19, social distancing, and for November, there's going to be a lot of constitutional amendments on the ballot, and each voter is going to have a 2-page ballot. It's going to be long. So we just want to provide those opportunities and remind everyone that during our early voting for both the primary and the general, you can go at the time and location that it's convenient for you. That includes 2 weekends, 2 Saturdays, and 1 Sunday for voting early. Now you will get specific information. We'll release the early voting dates, times, and locations about 30 days prior to each election. We will put it out on our website. We're still firming up a couple of locations for August and then of course November as well. But voters need to look out for their sample ballots that they're used to getting prior to each election. And the dates, times, and locations for each election will be specified on their sample ballot. So we're really excited this year that vote by mail is up because of COVID-19. In-person opportunities are going to be expanded. And then for those people who are traditionalists and love coming to the Bartram Trail Library on election day, if that's their voting precinct to cast their ballot, then they still will be able to do that. All of our polling locations will still be open in their regular locations with the exception of 1, and I had to move 1 precinct. So the great thing about your sample ballot is on the sample ballot, it has your election day polling place printed in red based on your address.
Which is why I call that my cheat sheet. And I take a lot of time with it, and I mark it, and then I hand it to my husband so he knows what to do.
Yeah, and the sample ballots, especially for the November election, are going to be very important. That's why we send them out about 3 weeks in advance to give people plenty of time to look over their ballot, to research their candidates, to research all the amendments, to simply, Donna, just like you, use as a cheat sheet when they go either voting early or at their precinct on election day. So part of our goal for voting in person in the fall elections because of COVID-19, we want our voters to be prepared. We want them to have that sample ballot with them. We want them to have it marked so they can be ready to vote, so they will cut down on the amount of time that they will spend in the polling place. A great tool we have on our website at votesjc.com is the My Voter Status. You can actually go online, view your sample ballot, confirm that we have your address correct, and make sure that you know where to go to vote on election day and to be prepared. And if your address is not up to date, you can simply make that change online or call our office. Take care of everything before you go to vote. So you go, number one, to the right polling place on election day the first time. You know, that's one of the main complaints we get from people. We have to reroute them to their correct polling place because they have not moved, or they have moved and they have not updated their address with us. But that's the great part about early voting. There's no wrong place to go. You can go anywhere as long as it's within the county.
It is great. Early voting is a wonderful tool, and all of the tools that you have created that have made voting, that is such an important part of our culture, easy enough for all of our residents to be able to take advantage of it. I want you to know that we're really grateful for you and all the hard work that you put into this. Your staff is amazing. I would have never known all of the things that you do, except for I do get a tiny glimpse behind the scenes from time to time. I know that lines are expected, not because we're going to have more voters, but because of social distancing and the length of the ballot. And I really want our voters to think of what's the easiest way for them, and then to pack their patience on election day, or even early voting day, if that's what they need to do.
Yeah. So we'll provide opportunities for our voters to cast their ballots. It's up to them to decide which is the safest way for them to vote, be that voting by mail, voting early during the time period for each election, or at their precinct on election day.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Now, let me ask you a personal question. What's the best book you've read recently?
Well, it's interesting you should ask that, Donna. I just finished reading a book that a very good friend of mine who is a librarian told me about, called Giver of Stars. And I really enjoyed that. And what I enjoy doing is sharing my books with other people. So I've already, I ended up going out and buying a copy because I wanted to read it and didn't want to have to wait. So I've passed it on, and I have a group of people to share with. So I really enjoy sharing. But that was a great book.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to share a good book with friends. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, I hope to see you again really soon.
Yeah, me too. Take care.
You too. Stay well. So patrons, please remember to like, comment, and share on these voting tidbits. Thank you.